it versus an Axe, but if anyone can make it work, I think that this will definitely be the team to make it happen. But let's see. Last day of Southeast Asia qualifiers, game 1 of TNC versus Boom. Mike and John, take it away.
Thank you very much, Tsunami. It is indeed MLP Dota and JOHNXFIRE. John, we're into game 1 of the lower bracket final between TNC and Boom Esports. And, you know, John, I can't help myself. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, feeling great. Great matchup to start us off with in the lower bracket finals. As we've already talked about, Boom, this is the furthest they've gone in TI qualifiers ever, as far as I can see. And this is a big moment for them, so they're going to have to show up their A game. TNC, they're in kind of a similar spot that we've seen TI qualifiers end up. Upper finals between Fnatic TNC, someone gets knocked down, and then that guy still moves on into grand finals for a rematch. We'll see if they can continue that momentum. But it's always fun to see this specific matchup, right? Like, it's the Filipino versus Indonesian match. It's always explosive for both teams and the viewers because, you know, Southeast Asia, we get really passionate about our games, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's hard during these games, right? Because you're so tempted to watch the Twitch chat as well. It's just so entertaining when they go to war over these kind of games. But, you know, we're professionals, John. We'll concentrate on the gamers. I think it's going to be a very close one as well. Like, I know we talked about it. We kind of gave TNT the upper hand before the draft began in this series, but it could be anyone's game. These two, they've gone against each other so many times. It is a bit of a classic matchup between Boom and TNC, and of course it is underway now. Boom, they'll take 2 of their bounties. Of course, TNC will respectively take their own 2. We'll get into the laning stage, and we will start off with the bot lane, where you do see Hyde on the line. He'll be there with FBZ on this Axe. Of course, against Gabby on his POS 1 DK. And Tim's, it seems, is going to be the POS 5 Mirana this game.
We've seen this lane a couple of times before, specifically DK Mirana versus Axe. And we've seen it go either way. If Hyde can do a good job of zoning the Mirana out, I think the Axe can just sit and spin without having to worry about the arrow. But if he's not able to buy that space out, you get that simple chain stun combo. The Axe doesn't feel tanky at all early on, so it's all down to just positioning it. Freebie arrow, it's good to block that range creep, so you're not feeding out the EXP. But it will take a couple of levels here for FBZ to really feel comfy. He went with level 1 Battle Hunger, no spins.
Look at the damage though, FBZ. The level 1 Battle Hunger, it's pretty stock standard, I'd say, but the damage you can pump out with this DK Mirana is kind of insane. Another arrow out, this time it will not be blocked off by either, and you get to the point where you can't always block these arrows. You do have to be a little bit cautious because the damage will rise very fast between these two. We should have a look at the other lanes as well. Of course, top lane, you've got Bok there with Boomy. Up against Dreamer, Cell, and Kezcute. John, talk to me about this lane. The Brewmaster, was it a good pick? Is it going to be impactful against this TB during this laning stage?
In lane, you can kind of play around, maybe look for the value points in Cinderbrew for now. Bok does have the Thunderclap ready to clap and Boomy. He doesn't have jump here.
No, he doesn't have Icarus time. Still level 1 and is going to end up going down. Dreamer Cell does already pick up the first blood in very nice fashion. This is kind of what I was worried about, John. Are you going to be able to do enough? Because Dreamer Cell, he knows his Terrorblade very, very well. I'd say it's one of his best heroes right now, and it's going to be scary for TNC to deal with later on if he has this good of a start.
And what you have to do in this lane for TNC is play around the Metamorphosis. Once you see it kind of expire, you know you've got about 2 minutes or so where you can just try to harass out the TB. You've got good magic damage on your Brew, but I think Dreamicel's doing a good job here. Every single time he sees Bok come close, he commits to Reflection, and Bok hurts himself more than he can hurt the TB, so it's a bit rough. This is also a very EXP-heavy lane for TNC. The Brewmaster and the Phoenix need some levels, and Boomy's just kind of giving this lane away, so the progression onto that level 3 spike for the Phoenix, it's going to take a bit longer here.
Let's have a look at that mid lane as well. The one lane we haven't talked about yet. It's going to be Armel against Makoto. Armel and that TA having an extremely good time. Double the CS of our Wind Ranger, which is going to be a pretty big cause of concern. As we know the TA already can kind of flash farm very quickly. But with this kind of start as well, it's going to be concerning here for Makoto. This is sort of what we kind of mentioned in the drafting phase, right? Like this Wind Ranger pick, what does it actually do? Well, for now, it's not doing so well in the lane, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a slow start. It's a bit worrying for Mikado. He's not really able to use any sort of advantage. Like, maybe you try to just power shot the creep wave, but you're never going to burn through refraction from TL, though.
Still ticking out to that battle hunger, but he's actually out regenning the damage. And Hyde, he's showing up. Earthspike gonna land, but it's still not enough. 20 HP he'll survive on. Hyde, really can't believe his eyes. Like, how does this damn hero die? And Gabby, he won't even need a salve, John. He'll stick around the tier 1 tower. He'll get a bit of bonus regen. He's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, it's just DK things. You know, you hit your level 4 spike, you have level 2 Dragon Blood. You can sustain through a lot more. You've also got added strength from that early Soul Ring, so hard to zone out. They are doing a good job of at least pushing Gabby away from the creep wave, but it's not like he's missing out on too much CS. So the bot lane for Boom just going a bit slower. You're still seeing the mid lane struggle here. I mean, you just can't burn through refraction, so you can never trade favorably with that TA. Maybe once you hit level 6, you can look for a Shackle Focus Fire play. But even then, that can be a bit risky, and I think Mikado's either going to need some support rotations, probably from Hyde, to take care of this TA early on, or start to ask the supports to set up around that jungle, plant some deep wards to prevent that flash farm.
Still unable to apply that pressure right now, Boom. Just trying to keep up in the CS department. Everything's going really swimmingly, though, for TNC. Like, that bot lane, the mid lane, you'd have to argue 2 out of 3 lanes is already won here for TNC. That off lane, sure, it didn't go so well, but when you look at Treemasoul's farm in comparison to Armel and Gabby, he has fallen a little bit behind. We'll see what they get done about it, but it's another one of those things, John. With this draft from TNC, they're going to be able to take those towers very fast, and TNC will choke you out of the map. We talked about this during the panel. It's going to be extremely important for them to be able to defend these tier 1 towers, especially around that 10-minute mark.
Yeah, they can't have these objectives melt quick. It's going to shrink their jungle space on Boom's side. They need a lot of catch-up farm for all 3 cores, especially the Axe. Like, you do have the Vanguard up, but you're going to need a quick blink on top to really start running around the map here. So someone's going to have to give some space earlier on. It feels like it might end up being Mikado by nature of the Wind Ranger, just because it really just doesn't flash farm the same way the Axe and Terrorblade can. So if he doesn't find his Javelin timing, I think Mikado's going to be in a really awkward position. You can already see TNC just constantly shoving in the mid wave, even dragging his support out by the 6-minute rune to secure that regen.
He will get it, Tims. Not that he really needed it anyway. SQ does cancel it off straight away, but just being able to deny it away from Makoto going to feel quite nice. Because Armel, he doesn't even have a bottle, so he doesn't really give a crap about the runes at all. Unless it's something like a DD or a haste rune. Definitely no need for a regen as top lane a bit of a scuttle. He'll be fine. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Gabby, he's forced to pop the dragon form. It's not too big of a deal. It was just a bit of a dive from FBZ. Doesn't really amount to much. Gabby, he'll just farm with this anyway. Like, he's not going to try and apply any kind of tower pressure yet. It's all about the farm game for him. He's doing a great job of it.
Yeah, he's just pretty much in a solo lane. Perfect farm coming out for DK, which will lead to quick item timings, perhaps quick power treads, maybe looking for that fast blink as well to take a more active role on DK. The slower pace of game, it feels like it's actually favoring TNC a lot more. You look at those triangle stacks here from TNC, man, like a whole bunch of stacks just for our melt to clear up later on. There is a ward from Boom to watch it, but they're really not in a position to contest any of that. They're already playing the jungle with Dreamo Cell very early on because the top lane's just being shoved in. Bok has level 6. Primal Split Threat is ready to go. The push for TNC up top isn't the quickest, especially without Gabby around, but it's still happening, and that's more progress than Boom is happening.
The question is, can they kind of infiltrate that Radiant Triangle? In fact, hold that thought, because mid lane, no, he's thinking about going for a dive in on Kescute. Almost gets him. Arrow, it's going to be taken by the Lion. They might find another, and they will hide. He's gone, but Makoto, he's going to try and fight this one out, but he definitely can't do it. Even with the focus fire, he needs to get the hell out of there, as Armel will chase him down and find himself a double kill. Boom Esports, a bit of a misplay there. They didn't really know where they were going with that. Miscoordination for sure. And you would have almost rather seen the Abaddon die over the Lion. You need to find that blink timing on Hyde. it's going to delay things a little bit, and to make matters worse, John, Makoto ends up dropping.
Yeah, he tried to play greedy. He tried to line up for a shackle, did not connect. And I love what TNC is doing. I didn't notice this earlier, but Boomy, in that fight, he was still level 2 at 7 minutes in. He just hits level 3. He's been very sacrificial on this Phoenix, enabling everyone else to get a lot more space. Even Tim's is at 5. So he's taking that hard, almost past 6 roll on Phoenix, just stacking the triangle. They managed to clear out the large camp. They've got the Ancients coming through for Armel with a double damage. They take the top tier 1. This early game's going very smoothly for TNC, and if Boom don't find a way to hit some item spikes, get some blinks up, maybe on FBZ, they're not going to have the answer.
Kescute's in trouble top lane. They get the primal split off, and this should be a nice easy pick off. In fact, Kescute, his courier's in trouble as well. They'll ignore that for now. He'll burn alive very slowly as Bok. He's gonna leave the courier. He'll show some mercy. Go back, just make sure he does not get caught out of position. But it's the 3rd kill already for TNC. I suppose that is one of the nicer things about the Brewmaster this early on, is you can just kind of go for solo kills. There's not much in the way of stopping it.
Yep, they just aren't together enough from Boom to punish that Brewmaster. Like, the top lane's just not a place they want to play necessarily. They've got deep wards from TNC's end. You can just kind of commit the Brew. He's super tanky. You don't have burst yet. Even Finger's not quite up on hide. So you can't really counterplay it. And TNC's just working this map to perfection. They're getting flash farm on Armel super quick. He's rushing the Desolator. No Dragonlance, it looks like, this time around. So he's just going straight up burst, not going for durability, stats, and range. And this could actually help them accelerate that game. Like, the Dragonlance would help them sustain a little bit longer and save Armel. But with this kind of timing on the Desolator, we're looking at maybe 11 minutes, maybe even less, 10:30. He's going to be able to melt literally every single hero. Even the TB is going to feel a bit squishy. The Axe is probably the slowest one to kill, only if he gets his taunt off.
I like that Desolator choice, though. Like, you kind of pointed it out, but having this much early kind of timing with that Deso, when you've got a DK on top, just get rid of that mid-tier 1 tower and boom, they're going to suffer. That's exactly what TNC are trying to do. They've already grouped around the mid lane, forcing those rotations in. They'll back off for now and go back into that triangle. Armel, he's got the Deso up. 10.5 minutes into this game. That is a fast Deso. This is very, very problematic. This is a huge problem now for Boom. I think Armel will see him go into the mid lane very soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if Gabby joins him.
If they can just look to melt towers right now if they want to. Armel's starting to queue up the Dragonlance, so he just kind of reverses the order, figuring that he's AFK jungling more and the Desolator's more efficient there. You can see Boom kind of clump up. They are smoked up. They've got Finger.
Nice call. They got the big one. They got the TA, but can they burst him down in time? Armel, Finger out. He's still alive, but no, the dunk. FBZ gets the job done. Tim's, he'll try to leap away his Bok. He's trying to find a decent team fight for his team, and Gabby, he's in, but what did he just stun? It was the Aphronic Shield that purges it off, and now the call's in. FBZ, he's after the edge. He wants to try and burst it down in time, and they get it. They beat the team fight. TNC, they need to retreat right now as Boom. They are angry and they want more. What can they find? Gabby, he's a great target, and there's your blink in FBZ. Catches him out again, and Dreamer Soul, he'll get to work. An absolute disaster for TNC Predators. Boom. They refuse to let that mid-tier 1 tower drop. They're back to farming. They're not going to try and push. That's not their objective right now. As long as that mid-tier 1 stands, they are happy.
That was just beautifully timed from Boom. Immediately, once they had that blink in FBZ, they looked for that kill opportunity, and that's all they really needed. They needed some setup, they needed a way to initiate these fights. FBZ just getting all the big calls he needs. You can see TNC, they're still trying to push in, but you have to remember, it is risky. You don't have Egg anymore, you don't have Primal Split. The fight around that tier 1 could be a bit tougher if you force the issue.
Still huddle around that mid lane, but it's gotten so much more dangerous now. You've even got the Maelstrom up on Makoto, so he's got some damage to pop out with that focus fire. Certainly not as easy as it was just about a minute ago to try and go for this mid-tier 1, but there is going to be a smoke up. TNC gonna wrap around through the Hyde jungle, but Makoto, he breaks the smoke off, and Hyde's gonna rotate. There's your focus fire around Gabby. He is a tanky target, but it may not matter as a Shackles comes out. Makoto, he found 2 already, but they won't be able to capitalize as Bok now. He'll move forward. No primal split necessary as the Icarus dive in, but Hyde, He'll be protected by Kezcute and the Aphotic Shield. Easy, look at him, John. He's waiting for that reinitiation. He's been very good thus far with the blink calls. We'll leave them be for now. TNC ever so desperate to try and get that mid-tier 1 tower, but Boom, they're not budging.
I like the committal from Boom. They understand that they need his tower as much as TNC needs theirs. TNC will recommit though. They've got the Dragon form up on Gabby. This tower is not going to hold as long, and I think that's the point where Boom, they're probably not going to be keen to jump in. They see the full commitment from TNC. They have to surrender the objective. They're getting what they can in their jungle while they can, and they should be able to get some good D-wards. But look at TNC. They have a million sentries around the area, and they're just going to be able to spot out those defensive wards as they come down. So they're already preempting the vision game that Boom will probably want to bring out, and it can make it a bit tougher for Boom to keep that control steady. They're going to try to look for that bot tier 1 just to open up that bot jungle a bit more. They're dragging the heroes in.
Easy. Lane Tim's going to hide in the tree line. They know it's a TB illusion, I believe, so they'll leave that be. In fact, it's their own TB illusion as Tim's still hiding. They're trying to scout it out. Tim's making it very, very hard to catch him out, and he'll even pop the Moonlight Shadow to try and sneak his way out of this scenario. Oh, he's going to reveal himself, FBZ. He's still waiting. Patience of a monk here on this axe. How much longer do you want to wait? Still, Tim's again, arrow out. We'll get a bit of vision on Dream Missile. Get in FBZ from the left side now. Gonna come through that tree line. Tim's call, not gonna be on target. He leaps away. He's got 2 more leap charges. He should be alright as now. They stand next to each other. Look at Tim's. He's farming the creeps. He knows there's no call. He gets an arrow out. He's wasted a lot of time in the spot lane while the Roshan's happening on the other side of the map. It was all a bit of a bait here from TNC as the distraction play may have worked out. Roshan very, very low. Power shot going to get the vision. FBZ, he needs to get in there quick, but the blink, it's been cancelled. He'll get in now. Ball's there. Armel, he's got the Aegis. He does snatch it away from the side of Boom Esports, and now they'll go for the fight. Onto the axe. FBZ's going to try and run. Can he get away from Bok on this primal split? He cannot. He will drop. They even found another. Hello, Kezcute. Right back down to earth, and TNC, they will burst him down. That was a very close call. Armel just out-clicking Boom Esports, and now might just find Hyde. He won't go for the chase on the line. He'll leave him be. It's a slight net worth lead now to TNC, but with that Aegis up, John, they can certainly apply a bit more pressure.
Yeah, he can look to commit further with Armel. He can look to just throw his first life off if he wants to. Ideally, you'd want the BKB to kind of maximize that, though. But that's going to take a little bit more time to farm. For Boom's part, I mean, that's a great call from FBZ. He needs the follow-up. Like, you can't just go in with the axe. I think he's going to need Lion backup, and this is where Boom's lineup kind of falters. Their team fight is just not as good. They don't have anything like the Egg. They don't have anything as disruptive as the Brewmaster as well, so it's trickier for them to force these 5v5s in a tight spot.
Grouping arrow, that could be a great arrow. Tim's! He never misses this guy. As they dive in now, the sun rays out. Makoto, he's trapped in the tree line, but he has help coming in. FBZ, he's there with the call. Shackles out. It'll latch onto a tree and they'll finger burst him down. The arrow, it was great, but it doesn't end up paying off. Boom Esports, they turn right back around and start chasing them down as Hyde. He'll blink forward. Earth Spike, not going to be thrown yet, but FBZ, he'll get the vision for a great stun out now. Hyde locks him down. Call is there. Lock, he doesn't have Primal Split. It's going to be hard to get out of this. He'll try to go for a run, but another nice shackles Makoto off the creep wave. Gabby trying to help Bok. He will survive. The Sunray was enough sustain, and Boom Esports, they're going to have to back off. Just wait another day for that opportunity. It's so tight between these two teams, though. Still just a 1k net worth lead. Just feels like heroes are dropping so low, but they get away all the time. And Bok, he's going to be counting his blessings, John. He's only 900 gold away now from that Aghanim Scepter on the Brewmaster. You'd rather not die if you can avoid it.
That's going to be a big spike for Bach. We've seen that back-to-back Primal Split be a massive issue for a lot of teams that have had to play against a Brew. Now, this is not going to line up with his level 20 talent, which is where it really gets obnoxious with the plus 1,400 Bruling HP. That's way down the line, but this is still enough to save his life twice over. So Boom's going to have to be a lot more cautious about committing onto something like the Brew. They've got to be maybe prioritizing the Brew to die first just to prevent all of that control from coming true in a very prolonged fight. For Boom's part, they're still building up. Like, we're still seeing decent farm coming in from Dreamer, so it's time for the BKBs to fly in an FBZ.
FBZ, Arrow gonna be on target. Tim's at it again. They found a very nice target for themselves. FBZ, he can do nothing about it. Now Gabby blinking very far forward. Makoto's gonna TP in. Gabby, he got the vision, but he doesn't have the blink to initiate. Let him go for a bit. Reveal himself now. But what they really came for is that G2 top tower. Look at those side blades from Armel. My goodness. What kind of range is that?
Oh god, it's a Grove Bow with the Dragon Lance. So it's all the added range with the side blade talent range. Very painful and very balanced. That top tier 2 is not going to hold for long, and Boom has no options to fight in without the axe. So the top jungle now completely open here for TNC. They take the outpost, and they deny some XP per minute away from Boom. And for Boom's part, they really need to hit these item spikes. Like FBZ, he's going for the classic Manta Ag Shard that we almost always see nowadays. Still a ways off from the Manta and further away even from the Shard, so that big spike for the axe to keep pushing waves, not quite there yet. BKB to protect the TV is almost there.
Oh, Arrow, he was on target. He was on target. Hyde, he's going to try and go for a run. I don't think he quite makes it out of this one. Tims will chase him down. Ern's still taking him out. Hyde. Oh, did he really just get out the Sun Ray now? No, blinks to the south. But Gabby, the breathe fire off target, but it won't matter. It won't matter. Oh, very close call there for Hyde. They even get his courier. Make sure there is nothing left of this man. Get him down.
That was nail-bitingly close for them to miss that kill. I think the TP was just only a few milliseconds off, so they find it, and that's time for Boom to get away, but they do drop their bot tier 1 down to just 2 outer towers here from Boom, mid tier 2, bot tier 2 left. They can kind of control the jungle here from TNC's end. They could try to plant some more, they just don't have any available at the moment, so it's not quite the control they'd want. But they do plant in the end from Boomy. The thing for Boom right now is that they're losing their own map. There are still stacks coming out on TNC. Box getting great space to accelerate even further past just the Ags, working towards that Aeon Disc next. And once you've got that Ags Aeon Disc combo, you literally cannot kill the Brewmaster. Like, you just can't. He gets immediately broken in the combo breaker, then he just pops his ult. He will always have an ult charge. There's no situation where you don't have that, so it's going to be a massive, massive spike here for Bach once he's allowed to farm that up, and Boom has just not done enough to really shut that map down. We talked about it from the draft, from laning. What they had to do was really take control of that jungle, prevent the stacks, but they were never given the opportunity to do so, and they're just so much slower here on Boom's side. You're keeping up a bit with Dreamocell. FBZ is taking the backseat, and so is Mikado, so your two big cores just aren't quite at the point where they're as farmed as even Gabby. They will look for a smoke play here, though.
This is the only one showing at the moment. In fact, his team is right around the corner in case he needs it. I think that was scouted out, but FBZ, he's going to break the smoke. A nice call in. He does blink straight on top of Armel. A great target, but they can't get in time. Surely they finger him up, but it's not going to be enough. In fact, he turns around for a Meld strike. He'll get FBZ, and now Makoto. He's going to try and run, but I don't think there's any running at the side blades. Keep bouncing the Meld strike. It's going to reach for Makoto. He had the wind run. They'll turn back around. Armel now in trouble. They'll burst him down, and here comes Dreamer Cell getting to work. They'll turn onto Hyde. The Lion eventually die. Reinitiation. Gabby with the arrow out from Tims. They've got the Terrorblade, the Shackles. It won't land. Dreamer Cell, he has the Sunder though. He wants to turn around. There's your Sunray out with the arrow again. Dreamer Cell, he just can't move. And now Makoto, he needs to run, but he cannot run. Not from TNC Predator as they go for the mid-tier 2 tower now. That was a full team wipe, by the way. KSQ, he bought back at the end, but it was just way too late.
Oh man, it's the execution from Boom's falling a bit flat. They tried to commit on the TA, but the heals coming out from Boomy on that Sunray on the Phoenix, it's way too much, and we've seen that over multiple fights. It heals way too strong, it rips right through your high HP heroes because of the percent damage as well, and Boom do not have an easy way of reaching that backline outside of, I guess, hide to blink in, look for a Hex, look for an Earth Spike, but that's way, way deep back from TNC. Like, Boomy's positioning has been so on point to save his teammates every single time, and Boom has to make a choice now in starting these fights. Jumping the TA has not paid off when the rest of the team is there. The Brewmaster is highly disruptive, but you also have the heals to worry about from Boomy. I think they have to catch that Phoenix first. Like, you might run the risk of just getting controlled up by the Primal Split, but you can't afford to give that sustained weight to TNC.
Dire are scanning.
FBZ, at least he has the Manta up now, so you've got plenty of creep wave push with these Axe Illusions and of course the DPS output. On the other spectrum though, Gabby's got the full Aghanim Scepter. So Black Dragon is online now for TNC, or rather, no, he is, the Black Dragon is there, he is level 18. That's going to be a very scary scenario now for Boom. We've seen they don't really have enough to deal with the side of TNC yet, and these items up, it just becomes that much harder. It's even Armel, he's working towards the MKB. That's going to make Makoto's life a hell of a lot harder to boot, right? Because he's kind of relying on that win run to be able to survive the TA damage, but once that MKB's out, suddenly you're not really evading those hits anymore, and he's going to have to be a lot more careful about his positioning.
Yeah, it's going to be super tough for Boom. They're not going to feel all too tanky going to that next fight. And TNC, well, there's a Roshan they could take, but they look to take a pick off first to clear that up.
Easy, stunned out. Gabby's got him. Null strike there. Arrow again connecting on target. See you later, FBZ. KSQ also being called out by Tims and KSQ. He's got the borrowed time at the very least. He might be able to buy a bit of time, but not for long. They stun him up, they'll take him down, and that should be a very free Roshan for TNC. As Boom Esports, they don't have the buybacks to contest this.
They have no way of accessing that pit. TNC still have access to the egg. They've got another charge of that Primal Split. It's not a very smooth fight for Boom, especially considering what they have on hand. They can't. So this is going to be second Roche, Aegis Cheese, Ag Shard. That is big. I wonder who they hand that shard to. I'd say just give it to Armel. Psionic Trap Silence is just going to really break the back of Boom here. They do have a couple of BKBs up, but yeah, it's going to be painful. You know?
Of course there's a DD rune right after Roshan.
Of course.
Here's an Aegis, here's a Shards, here's a DD rune just in case you needed an Armel, and down to the bot lane they go. They'll defend that up for now. Just classic. Armel's gotten everything he can ask for thus far. There's literally nothing else the game could have given him.
Yeah, I think the way it goes perfectly next is Roche number 3 will have a free Ag's Blessing, and then you're really sad. You know, that's absolutely the perfect game for Armel, getting everything from Ice Frog himself. He'd be all over the map. He'd have a global, sort of like global silence almost, to take control, and Boomer finding themselves lagging behind. They have not been blessed here, Mike. 14-6, 10k lead for TNC. They're lagging behind in farm. Their jungle shrinking. They didn't manage to get that early aggression on the opposing jungle. Their own jungle is being invaded by the side of TNC. It's that farm share issue. Like, how do you get an Axe who still doesn't have Shard enough space to share farm with a team?